Let's go over the proportions of the human face. I start with a circle representing your skull, and I'm using my whole arm for this. A center line just to keep symmetry going, and that's my little line for the chin. The jawline breaks into two lines and meets the skull at the top. Now these are guidelines, so you have to shape that face after you get your guidelines down. Now let's start breaking up the proportions. So the one thing not to do is don't make an ice cream. Okay, these are, once again, they're guidelines. They will not do the drawing for you. They'll just help you and guide you. So I like to break the face down in halves because they're easier than doing eighths or fifths. So the first half, from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin, is where your eyes sit. Then break down from the eyes to the bottom of the chin. That half is where the base of your nose is. From your nose to your chin, that half is where the base of your mouth is, not the opening of the mouth, okay, by the bottom lip. Now, I also like to break down the sides. There's 5 eyes across in the human head, but dividing into fifths is difficult. So once again, I break it down in halves. I put the iris in the middle of the first half, and then I break that down and put the eyelid, which drapes right over the iris. Now the bottom, the inside of the eye is a little lower than the outside of the eye, so keep that in mind. Now let's draw the nose, just very simple nostrils and some shading. We'll do more videos on the nose later on. It's actually quite a difficult part of the face. Now the corners of the mouth wrap around the face, so they tend to be a little darker. So is the center. So we are just going to do the top lip, which is always a little darker than the bottom lip, and just a little shading for that bottom lip. A little crease for your eyelid, and then not too high above the eye. You're going to have your eyebrow. Sometimes people make that too high, so be careful. Now just a little tiny indentation for the bridge of your nose. Don't do a line from the top of the eyes to the bottom of the nose. That's Squidward nose. We don't want that. Now your ear is in between the space of your eyes and your nose. It runs along that line. Bring in your hairline, okay? Don't do it on the top of your head. It comes down a little bit. And to do your hair, you want some simple shapes rather than individual strands. The width of your neck is usually the same space from iris to iris. And don't forget that you have hair behind your neck. A lot of times people forget that and they leave a space as if you had 2 ponytails. So this is just a very quick fill-in, because hair, once again, is complicated. So we're going to do more videos in the future on hair. And this is just the very basic proportions, which you can use for any style. You can use for realistic style, and you can use for comic book style. And when you're doing an actual portrait of a person, you may find that their face will vary from these proportions, but you want to start here and then look for variations. You could do individual strands after you get your large shapes of your hair and have a lot of variety that way. That's your pupil. Leave a little space for highlights and a little shadow of your eyelid. And that's good for now for just your basic proportions of the human face. Hope you enjoyed.